A brand has two anchors on screen, a face people trust and a place they recognize, which is why character and location consistency are the two failures I refuse to ship, and why it matters enormously that almost everyone only watches for one of them. Let me show you both on the same 3 generations. Watch the face first. Same spot, 3 generations, identical direction. First, that is our presenter. Second, the jaw narrows and the hairline shifts. Third, a different woman in the same blouse. Every viewer catches that instantly because faces are what humans watch, and a viewer who notices your presenter changed has stopped listening to your product. Now the same 3 generations, eyes on the set instead. The window starts, camera left, turns up on the back wall, and then the counter changes sides while a door appears from nowhere. Almost nobody catches it consciously, and everybody feels it. The kitchen stops being a kitchen and becomes 3 pictures of one, and the trust quietly leaks out of the spot. So why do both drift at once? Because the model is not holding your brand between shots. Every generation starts from nothing and reinvents whatever you did not hand it that time, wherever you are generating, which is why the same direction sent twice returns 2 different rooms. I tried the 3 tools everyone tries, and the grade that matters to a client is what each one hands back. Midjourney carried my presenter with omni reference and the look with style reference and gave me the exact frame, then the next frame, and the parameters were gone because they live on the direction and not on the brand. So the hunting and reattaching began again. Runway's Gen-4 held her face across a shot and kept a tagged reference saved for later sessions, but saving a reference and attaching a reference are 2 different jobs. It did the first. Saving was never what ate the afternoon. And training a model on her persisted, cost a run every time, and knew exactly one thing, who she is. Every set she stood on stayed mine to hold together, deliverable after deliverable. So, audit the leftover, because it is identical all 3 times. Find the right asset, attach it to the right shot, check what came back, log which version it was, then repeat for every deliverable on the campaign. Each of these tools finishes a picture and leaves the shot unfinished, and that gap is not creative work, it is administration, and it disguises itself very effectively as being organized. And the face was the easy half because every set carries identical paperwork, and a campaign has far more sets than spokespeople. So here is the reframe I now brief every client with. You are not protecting a presenter, you are protecting a world. The face and the set are one object and they hold together or they drift together. There is no version where the presenter survives and the kitchen does not. Invideo Agent is what solved both halves for me with one mechanism instead of 2. The spokesperson locks as a character sheet. The sets lock as location plates. Both live in context, the agent's persistent memory, and InVideo Agent attaches both to every generation itself and checks every shot against both before it reaches me. Generating was never the hard part of a brand film. The administration was, and that is the half it takes away. Against the 3 by name, exactly. Because clients deserve a precise comparison. Midjourney gets your presenter into an image, and placing the reference stays your job. Runway keeps her face steady across a shot, and placing the reference stays your job again. A trained model memorizes one person for months, and the set gets typed out from scratch every time regardless. One of the 4 holds the whole project, the face, the sets, and the brand rules, and puts it on the shot without being asked. So let me build it the way I build a campaign and then run the 3 tests. Go to invideo.io, sign in, start a new project, and name it for the brand. The project becomes the container. Every lock from here lives inside it. And that is exactly why no part of the brand ever gets briefed twice. The face first, because a brand film derives from its presenter. Describe her plainly. A presenter in her early 30s. A soft, dark bob, a linen shirt, warm and credible on first sight. InVideo Agent returns options, run passes, discard freely, and one of them is her. Iterate like a casting session. Softer, a touch less styled, keep the warmth, lose the gloss. It regenerates against the same base rather than starting over, which is why the 3rd pass still resembles the first. Lock. That is the character sheet, and that is the brand's face made durable rather than recast every quarter. How do you cast a second character who belongs in the same world? Build him against her sheet, so the visual family holds from the very first pass instead of being chased through 4 rounds of client feedback. And what do you lock beyond the face? The wardrobe, as states. The launch look and the seasonal look, both on the same sheet. Otherwise, the face holds while the styling quietly reinvents itself mid-campaign, which is precisely the drift clients notice last and hate most, because by then it is across every deliverable. Then the sets, same mechanism, different artifact. List every recurring set at once. The kitchen, the storefront, the office, the car interior, the street outside, and let invideo agent generate them in parallel in variations, so you review one while the rest build. Set the specs before picking, 9x16 and 16x9, 4K, because every future deliverable inherits these frames and a campaign ships in both. Then pick for legibility, not beauty. The variation where the light direction reads, the depth reads, the exits read, even if it is the plainest of the 4, because a gorgeous set in flat haze gives the agent nothing to hold. Lock. That is the location plate, and here is AI location consistency in one sentence. What actually keeps a set the same is a locked spatial anchor holding the window on its wall, the counter on its side, and the off-frame space accounted for. Which sets deserve one? Anything a spot lives in for more than 3 shots? Because 3 shots is enough for a room to rebuild itself? And a drifting one-off set reads exactly as badly as a recurring one, since the audience has no idea it was a one-off. Open context, where the sheets and plates already sit, and write the brand rules no picture can show. The logo never sits in shadow. Her hair keeps the soft bob in every spot. The kitchen stays morning bright, always. Save, and those rules ride on every generation exactly as the sheets and plates do. Setup is finished, and everything after this is withdrawal. One choice before generating, and it is about attention. How much of yours should the project ask for? There are 3 control settings: always allow, which goes straight to generating, ask before generating videos, and a setting that holds for your say-so on everything. I keep anything with her face in it at ask before generating videos, and open the product inserts up to always allow. In any of the 3, nothing is generated twice and nothing is wasted. Now the moment that changed my job. Go to generation and attach nothing at all. The direction, word for word. She sets the mug down and smiles at camera, mid-shot. 10 words. No sheet dragged in. No set dragged in. So, what went out with those 10 words? Open the attachment panel. Her character sheet is on the shot. The location plate is on the shot. And beneath my line sits the full instruction it wrote. The wardrobe carried over from the last spot. Light matched to that plate's morning. The lens. The counter it already knows. The styling rule. Then it picked the model for the shot itself, routing across more than 200 of them. VO and cling and sedence among them. One more decision I no longer make per shot. I directed, it did the filing. And that panel is what the other 3 simply do not have. In Midjourney, the panel is you, remembering which reference belongs on which frame. In Runway, it is you, scrolling saved references for the right one. With a trained model, it is you, describing the kitchen again to something that has never heard of it. Push it with real blocking. Close on her hands around the product, a colleague's soft focus behind her. 2 sheets, 1 set, shallow depth, and still nothing attached. The panel lists both sheets and the plate, and it has blocked the colleague camera right beneath the shelf light, because the plate offers exactly 1 spot where he can stand and have that shelf light read. So separate the 2 properly, because this is the distinction that actually protects a campaign. A reference is a photograph of a set. A plate is the set's floor plan, which wall the window is on, how deep the room runs, what sits outside the frame. A photograph gets approximated. A floor plan gets obeyed, and that is what lets you block a shot instead of negotiating with the model for it. And hold the number that explains everything. How long is one generation? Around 8 seconds. So a 30-second spot is a handful of generations that all have to cut as one, and a campaign is dozens of those across weeks, each cut another opening for the set to change. So scenes go out as batches, every shot against the same sheets and the same plate in a single pass. and they come back already cutting. And the take that gets the face or the set wrong, it never reaches me. Each one is reviewed against the locks, and the brand rules first, caught and rerun. Consistency stops being something I watch for and becomes what the project does by default. Before trusting a campaign to it, 10 minutes of proof. The test triangle. A wide, a close-up, and a reverse. Same presenter, same set. The wide checks the set's geometry, the close checks her face, and the reverse checks the half of the set no model was ever shown. Triangle holds, campaign holds. If it does not, relock now, before the client call, not after it. It held. So here is character and location consistency assembled. The intercut. Deliverables from separate sessions on different days. Nothing attached by hand, playing as one sequence, one presenter, one kitchen, the window keeping its side throughout, and give the reverse your full attention, because the reverse is where AI spots get caught, the model inventing the half of the set it never saw. This one passes. The shelf sits where the shelf sat, and the light still arrives from the same window, even with that window behind camera. And now the beat every brand needs, because a campaign that cannot evolve is a campaign that dies. The change test, new season, new wardrobe, one change on her sheet, relocked, a brighter dressing for the set, one redress on the plate, relocked. Every new deliverable carries both, with neither mentioned in a single direction. The deliberate change propagates, the accidental one cannot. And that pair, refresh without drift, is precisely what a brand is paying for. And the thing that makes this survive a real client relationship rather than a single shoot, come back to the project cold, months later for the next flight. Ask where it stands, and it answers from what is genuinely locked, generated, and pending. Nothing re-uploaded, nothing rebriefed. The brand world is still standing. The honest edge, because I will not oversell to a client and I will not oversell here. It protects what you locked and only what you locked. A prop that never got locked, a corner of the set never built, an extra without a sheet, those still improvise. Read that as a budget line. The campaign is won during the lock passes, then a normal finish. Upscale in Topaz when delivery needs it, selects into Premiere Pro, cut, grade, ship because nothing needs rescuing. So here is the sentence I would put on the first slide. Character and location consistency come from one mechanism. The character sheets and the location plates locked into context inside InVideo Agent, attached to every generation and checked on every shot, which is how a face people trust and a set people recognize both survive a campaign. A brand film is a person and the place they stand. Lock both. And if you are choosing between Midjourney, Runway, training your own model, or InVideo Agent, the difference is not the picture that comes back. It is who owns the brand's paperwork. 3 invoice it back, 1 absorbs it. It is invideo.io.
You keep trying. Come back home. Every time I've been, you say love's a perfect design.
In this no man's land, where do I find sugar now?
Hey, who's that?